So my name is Vivek Sharma. I'm an irrigation specialist, assistant professor in the Department of Plant Sciences, located at Powell Research and Extension Center.
And let's just start with what's your most interesting project that you have going on right now?
Mostly all of my projects have some kind of a irrigation component. We generally used crop evapotranspiration, water use efficiency, irrigation efficiency as the main component. But we also try to include the nutrient application and what's the interaction between nutrient as well as irrigation in the crop production setting.
And what types of crops are you working with?
So most of my projects are dealing with the four crops. One would be the sugar beet, barley, and dry beans. And we also looked into the alfalfa seed production and what's their irrigation requirement, what's the crop water use efficiency, and how we can manage irrigation. There are different types of irrigation, so surface irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, and drip surface irrigation. Yeah.
So on the subsurface irrigation, I'm curious, do a lot of producers in the basin use subsurface, or is that kind of specific to the research station?
We have some producers that are using subsurface drip irrigation system, but mostly our sprinkler irrigation is getting some popularity, but still majority of our producers are relying on surface irrigation.
So do you have any projects that have some recent results that producers might be interested in?
Yeah, so we are conducting a couple of studies. One I want to highlight is there is a grant funded by the Department of Agriculture on dry bean water use efficiency. We want to try to estimate the water use under surface irrigation and what's the comparison with sprinkler and subsurface drip irrigation. So we use the same dry bean variety for that, Othello. This is the second year of the study, and what we saw so far is under sprinkler irrigation, dry bean is very sensitive to stress. Even the small amount of stress can cause a significant reduction. But overall, if you compare surface versus sprinkler can give you a better yield. In the first year, we got about 3,300 pounds per acre of yield under full irrigation under sprinkler. Compared to under surface, it was just 2,500 under full irrigation. There is a nature of surface irrigation because it's always over irrigated, because you can account for the losses, for example, runoff losses, deep percolation, how much water going down, in a deeper file. But at the same time, it's not a nutrient efficient technique of irrigating, because you apply nutrients, for example, nitrogen you applied at a pre-broadcast early in the growing season, and then you surface irrigate with the furrow irrigated. And since there's a lot of water going inside, so there's a lot of leaching happens. So most of the nutrient leach back that's not been used by the crop. But in contrary, in sprinkler irrigation, you can apply the appropriate amount of water, and then crop can use, because it's not leaching down, it can stay in the root zone, and then crop can use that nutrient as well as water effectively.
But you said it's really key to make sure with the sprinkler irrigation that you're hitting it at just the right time.
Yes, so we have different irrigation timings as well as different irrigation amount. So we over irrigate also in sprinkler irrigation to see what's the effect of over irrigation on the yield. But we reduce the amount of water by 25%, 50%, and 75%, and to see how much is the reduction in the yield happen when you deficit it. And what we found so far in sprinkler irrigation, as I said, dry bean is very sensitive. Even reducing the amount by 25%, you can reduce the yield by 28%. So there's a significant reduction in the yield. So that's what I'm saying, it's very sensitive. But under drought conditions, suppose 1 year we have no irrigation water, if we want to switch into the drought scenarios, so we are running a side-by-side experiment to identify the dry bean varieties which are drought tolerant. So there's another project in collaboration with Dr. Jim Highholt. We are running here. We have 36 varieties here under deficit irrigation and the full irrigation. So we identified, there's a poster along there, and we identified 6 to 7 varieties that are more effective under the drought conditions too.
And do you have results on that as far as?
Yes, so right around this poster in the red area, we found the varieties that are high yielding as well as drought tolerant. So the varieties such as Poncho, Avalanche, Desert Song, Monterey are those are varieties that we found at Powell location that are drought resistance as high yielding varieties. But at a Klingle location, we have UI 537, Poncho are among the varieties that are drought tolerant as well as high yielding. So this project is running side by side at Klingle as well as Powell location.
And do you have any results on your micronutrient work that might be of interest to?
Yeah, so we are collaborating with industry partners. So they have a mixture of zinc, magnesium, boron, and molybdenum. And we apply those micronutrient at different stages of the sugar beet. So that research in sugar beet. So we apply that as an in-furrow application at the time of planting. Then we use the earlier foliar application so that we have enough row closure. Then we have late foliar application so that so then sugar beet leaves contain some kind of a sugar, right? So how we can move that sugar to the beet so that we have higher percent sugar at the end of the year. So these are the 3-4 treatments that we are using, and we have seen a significant differences when you apply your micronutrient. Last year we had a nitrogen reduction study. So by the application of micronutrient, let's reduce the nitrogen also and see what's the impact of that. Because in sugar beet, if you apply excess amount of nitrogen, you generally tend to have lower sugar percentage compared to optimal or the lower nitrogen side. So we were seeing that effect, and we saw that with the higher nitrogen, if we apply higher nitrogen, you have seen a reduction in the nitrogen content. You have seen the reduction in the sugar content at the growth stage. But if you apply 250 kilogram per hectare of or 220 kilogram per acre, or pounds per acre of nitrogen compared to 150, there is a difference in the sugar percentage. Yeah.
I think that's kind of hits the high points that I was thinking of. Is there anything else you want to mention?
One thing that I want to mention, we are putting a lot of effort on our soil moisture techniques that was missing in Wyoming for quite a while, and there are a lot of significant tools that we can use and monitor how much water you are applying by just using the soil moisture. So we have set up a soil moisture lab here that use close to 14 different sensors from different manufacturers. And all those manufacturers sponsor those sensors to us so that they can also build a market in state of Wyoming. So at the side by side, we have the one objective of that project is how producers can use that sensors. So right now we have set up that sensor in 8 different producers ranging from Powell location, Warland, Lovell, Riverton. So all those producers are using those sensors, and we just had talk with our industry partners, and what they are telling us, they are a very good response from the producers. They like the sensors and they want to use in the production setting.
And so they must be pretty easy to use if producers can.
Yes, so we set up the whole lab. As I said, we have 14 labs. So some sensors are most of the research based, but some sensors are production settings that producers can use. And there are different amount of money that you want to spend. There are different type of sensor, whether you want to collect your data on your own, that may cost $600, $700, and compared to $3,000 when they can switch on your irrigation, and you can tell, they can text you, how much irrigation you need, at different growth stages. So there are a lot of technology available, but it comes with a cost.
Perfect. Well, yeah, I think that's a good overview for now. So.
Thank you.